and founder of MenzFit. And this is about the second or third time I think we've done this career day. We've done it not just here in Philadelphia, but we've also done it in Delaware. And it has proven to be very fruitful, not just for us, but more specifically for you. And so we're hoping that today will lend itself to that same type of success. One of the added bonuses that we've added this time is that there actually will be a couple of employers here. So you will have the opportunity after your mock interviews to actually go on an actual interview. And the goal is for you to get a job. So we're happy and delighted about that. We look forward to doing more of these throughout the year. And I just want you to sit back. I want you to listen. I want you to take copious notes. I want you to ask questions. And by the way, you guys look great.
Thank you.
Robin. She's.
Oh, I introduced you. That's right. Okay. So the gentleman that you are about to hear from, I want you to just sit back and listen because he is awesome. I've gotten to know Calvin Purnell over the last 3 years, three or four years or so, and I've been inspired. And I tend to surround myself around people who inspire, encourage, and support me. And Calvin is definitely one of those gentlemen. His story is amazing. He's now manager at IBM, but he also has written a book, and he's on the motivational tour. So he does a lot of motivational speaking, which you will get today. But I think you'll find his story really, really interesting. I think there'll be pieces of that you can take and apply with you in your daily life. So without further ado, my dear friend, Calvin Purnell. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Robin. Much appreciated. All right. So how many of you guys are excited to be here? All right, I'm excited to be here too. You know why? Because you're here, and at some point in my life, I probably would have sat in a seat similar to this. How many of you guys have actually dealt with adversity, hard times, just come up on some bad situations in your life? Are any of you guys convicted felons or have a felony conviction?
Nope.
So we have 3. Let's make that 4. We're gonna make it 4. So I had a situation in my life where I lost my temper. I allowed myself to get into a situation where I allowed someone to push my buttons to the point where I lost control of myself. Something a lot of people do. I just so happened to lose control, and I happened to discharge a firearm at someone at a moving car. Taurus Millennium 45. It's my favorite pistol to carry. Me, born and raised a Christian, born and raised in Southwest Philadelphia. My mother and my father were both in my life, and they both gave me great direction. But there were times where I strayed away. And there were times where I went down the right path. I was the kind of guy who was like the white collar worker, information technology, but I still had both feet in the streets. Got myself caught up in gambling. Never dealt with drugs, but gambling was my thing. And because of that, I had to start carrying a pistol. Well, I chose to start carrying a pistol. Let me just rephrase that. I chose to start carrying a pistol. I didn't have to, but I did that. Probably one of the worst mistakes I made in my life. So I spent some time in jail. I served my time, I paid my debt to society, but before I turned myself into prison, one of the things that I had to do was get my mind right. Attitude, the secret of success. I had information technology. My career is in information technology. It was 8 years when I discharged the firearm. I had a pretty decent career going for myself. Made a mistake, things happened, learned my lesson. So before I turned myself in again, like I said, I had to get my mind right. And I knew that I wanted more for myself. I didn't want to come out of prison having to, deal with certain situations and be told that we can't hire you because you have a felony conviction. What I did was I told myself I'm not going to allow anybody to tell me no. And if they do tell me no, I'm pushing those people out of the way so I can get to my yes. Attitude, secret of success. It makes a difference. However you prepare yourself, whenever you wake up in the morning, prepare yourself properly. Talk positive to yourself. And it's called positive self-talk. the things that you say to yourself, they impact your life. Positive self-talk helps me every single day. There's not one single day that I've gotten up in the morning and I looked in the mirror and I didn't see myself in jail. Every day since November 6th, 2003, when I was released. I'm not upset about that. That's a reminder for what I shouldn't do every day when I walk outside of my door. Getting out of jail was a rough paper route. I was told no, but I was determined to get yeses in my life. So one thing that I did is I went after a contract that I had prior to going to jail with the National Park Service as a systems administrator, information technology. Let me fall back onto what I know best. So they were gracious enough to bring me back into the facility and work as a federal contractor with the felony conviction. Don't let anybody tell you no. And if they do, like I said, push them out of the way so you can get to your yes. Because the yes is out there. The yes may exist at McDonald's. And if that's the case, so be it. Guess what? You get yourself established at McDonald's, you start working, you make some friends there, you build rapport with people, and you also learn how to communicate with people, different races, ages, sexes, whatever. That shows that you're functional in society. That builds your credibility. Attitude, secret of success. Outside of that, you may start going for other positions. Whatever your dreams and your desires are, go for them. I went after mine. I wrote a book, and I'm writing more. Polished, A Young Professional's Guide for Success. When I wrote this book, initially for me, it was to help young professionals who were not sure how to get mentors. They just didn't know. I didn't know. But from a spiritual sense, I felt like God was telling me, now's the time to write this book. Now's the time to put the information out there so people can get the information that you have, the things that you learned from your experiences, the things that you learned from other people who were my mentors, pour it into a book. That way people can get information. That way they don't know how to approach a mentor, guess what? It's in here. If you don't know how to dress yourself properly, guess what? It's in here. If you're not sure what spiritual direction you want to go to, guess what? It's in here. If you're not sure how to get your resume together, guess what? It's in here. Attitude, secret of success. So for me, Polish, A Young Professional's Guide for Success, when I wrote this book, for me, it was the blueprint of everything that I learned in my career and in my life, from things that my parents taught me, my mentors have taught me, just picking up tips and tricks along the way. I put it in here, and it was my self-boosting mentality, getting myself back together so that way I said, you know what? This is actually therapy for me. This is the blueprint for me and the steps that I took to get myself reestablished in my career in information technology. To the point where now I manage a team of engineers at IBM. I used to be a global manager, but we disbanded a few teams. So I used to manage a team in Singapore. I used to manage a team in Dublin, Ireland. Now I currently manage a team here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and in Blue Belt, Pennsylvania. That's a pretty decent resume for a guy who has a felony conviction. So, get your mind right. Positive self-talk. Look up affirmations. Find things that make you feel good. I know one thing that probably makes you guys feel good right now is sitting in these suits and these shirts and ties, right? It makes me feel good. Even if you're not in a suit and tie, if you don't have to go to work in a suit and tie, let's say you go to work casual with a pair of sneakers, some jeans, t-shirt, whatever. Put on your best. Whatever makes you feel great. Whatever makes you feel like the man. Like, you walk up in the place and everybody will recognize you because they see your attitude as you walk through the door. They see that positive attitude. They see that you feel good about yourself. That's going to make a difference. That's going to make people respect you because you feel good about yourself. The other thing that you need to do is help someone else out. Polish, A Young Professional's Guide for Success for me is helping other people out. That's taking this hand and reaching back and pulling everybody up from behind who needs some help. We all need help in life, right? I'm pretty sure you all have helped other people in life so far, right? Just continue to do that. When you perform services for other people, that's going to open the floodgates for you all to be successful. Because when you help someone else become successful, guess what that turns into? That turns into your success story. You help this person get promoted. You help this person get promoted. You help this person write a resume. You introduce this person to Rhonda Willingham. It makes a difference. And people will remember that about you. Attitude, secret of success. Makes a big difference. So let me just ask you guys a few questions. Well, just one particular question. Do you know what you want to do in your life from this point forward?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, and let me just tell you this. If you don't, that's fine. You have a room full of people who are willing to help you out. I'm willing to help you out. Before I leave here today, I'm going to give each one of you my business card. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm open. I do not discard information. Anytime somebody comes to me and asks for help, I always help out as much as I can. There have been plenty of times where I handed my business cards out to people and they haven't reached out. Those are the ones who didn't want help. There's nothing I can do about that. But I'm offering myself up to you guys, just like I've offered myself up to other people. My social media accounts, people reach out to me on a regular basis saying, hey, Calvin, do you happen to mentor people? Yes, I do. Social media, I don't know if this is your real name, so let me just tell you this. Email me here, tell me what your name is, tell me what you do if you have a career going for yourself, if you're trying to get yourself established, if you're in school. And tell me what you want me to mentor you in, because if you look at my social media accounts, you'll see that I am a manager at IBM. You'll see that I am a barber. You will see that I am a writer. You will see that I am a father. Those are 4 things that I will help you out if you need to be mentored in those areas. So tell me what you want. Tell me exactly what you want. That's the only way you're going to get it. Tell yourself what you want. And if you don't know what you want, there's time to figure it out. There's times to dibble and dabble in a few things. I like that, but I'm not quite sure if I'm good at that. This right here feels really good because I feel it's the fire in my belly and it's something that I don't want to let go. I think I might stick with this. This particular thing is going to help me become successful in life. This particular thing is going to help me allow somebody else for me to pull them up and become successful in life. That's part of your success story. Remember that. When I became a convicted felon, I used to tell people, I am a convicted felon. I had to change that. I had to change that from saying, I am a convicted felon, because I am Calvin Purnell Jr. That's who I am. I am not a convicted felon. I have a felony conviction on my record. So if you're telling yourself you're a convicted felon, if you're telling yourself that you're a failure, if you're telling yourself that you're going to get fired, change those things. Change those attitudes about yourself. Positive self-talk is going to make a difference in your life. I'm telling you. Every morning I wake up, I pray, I read my daily devotional, and guess what? I post that on social media so somebody else can read it, because somebody else may need to benefit from that. I can't keep it for myself. Any situations that I may go through, whether it's a positive situation or a negative situation, I'm not shy. For years I was shy to tell people that I had a felony conviction. I didn't want to disclose that information. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing to pass on in my head. But guess what? It's a good thing to pass on to other people because they can see that I've gone past that situation. I don't live there anymore. That's in my past. That's behind me. It no longer exists as far as I'm concerned. Because I had a felony conviction. I am not a convicted felon. I'm a husband. I am a father. I am a manager at IBM, one of the largest companies in the world, as a convicted felon. I am an author. I am a mentor. I am Calvin Purnell Jr. That's who I am. And everything that I mentioned to you guys today, those are the things that I can help you do. Any particular aspiration that you may have for yourself, talk to me. I may know people who may do the same things that you want to do. I can introduce you to them. All it takes is a handshake. I know a lot of people. It's as simple as that. An introduction, a handshake, a conversation, and an attitude. Secret of success. Anybody have any questions?
How you doing? My name's Derek Kane. How long were you gone?
Well, funny thing is I was supposed to do 3.5 to 5 years, but I only did 7 months. Okay. Because I changed my attitude. I was supposed to have a certain a certain sentence, but when I turned myself into prison, they didn't honor that. So when I realized they weren't honoring that, guess what I did? I wrote a letter to the judge every day. Had it mailed. I had my fiance, who was my wife now at the time, mail it and fax it. I was relentless. I wasn't giving up. You told me I was going to get this, but I'm not getting that. Yes, I committed a crime. Yes, I did something that I wasn't supposed to do, but you told me as a judge this is what I was supposed to have. So I fired the lawyer that I had, hired another lawyer, and we went to war. 7 months. 3.5 to 5 years, turned to 7 months.
So, just being from your story, I'm coming from the same point. Like my father, both my parents are preachers as well, and I've been in the streets too. You know, like trying to follow, which is not where I belong to, and I was also, locked up too. So, how did you reform your mind while being on the inside to come out with a positive mindset and stuff like that?
So I started that process before I actually went in.
Okay.
Knowing that I had to turn myself in a certain amount of days, it was like, you know what? This situation that I placed myself in, that's not me. So I had to go back to where I came from, the things that my parents told me. I actually titled a chapter in there, things my parents taught me, just to honor my parents, because I honor them every single day. And a lot of the things that my parents have taught me over the years, I had to actually bring those back into my mind and into my spirit. And that way, so that way I can adapt to the environment that I was going to. I was in that environment, I adapted to it, but I was not of that environment. I didn't allow myself to get caught up in the same situation in the circles that I got caught up in the street, because I'm sure you know, when you go to jail, the same things that happen in the street happen in the prisons.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I walked on the block and this one dude came up to me and he was like, yo man, you've been here a couple days, how come you acting like you don't know anybody? I'm like, because I don't.
Right.
And I choose not to get myself caught up. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I actually did get myself caught up in the situation, probably about 3 months before I was supposed to get out. Being a gambling guy, they on the block shooting dice. And I'm like, man, that's my twist right there. So what did I do? I went down and started shooting dice. I felt this tap on my shoulder, turn around. Like, what's up? Guys was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, somebody just tapped me on my shoulder. It's like, nobody tapped you on your shoulder. I'm like, all right, went to shoot the dice again, tapped on my shoulder again. I'm like, yo, stop playing, what's going on? And then they were like, yo, you tripping, dude? And I was like, no, somebody tapped me on my shoulder. They was like, nobody tapped you on your shoulder. That's when I heard from God. He was like, yo, you did this. You committed a crime to get here. Why are you committing a crime while you're in here? I dropped the dice, left a little bit of money that I did have, and I walked away from it. They was like, yo, come get your money. I'm like, nah, y'all keep that. It's not worth it. So mentally, I had to prepare myself and say, you know what? You want better for yourself when you get out? Prepare yourself while you're in here so that way when you get out, you can walk out of here like you never even went to jail. And that's exactly what I did.
It's actually about you. So Cal, thank you. Awesome story. And just really a comment. So what struck me, one of the many things that struck me as you were talking was how you think about and frame what you're doing isn't just important to get a job, it's important in how you are successful in the job. And this is something actually that Michelle has helped me and some of my really most promising talented staff do, is to frame situations in a way that allow the conversation to move forward. Frame a situation so that the problem moves forward and doesn't get stuck and isn't in the rearview mirror.
Right.
And I just kept thinking of that when he was talking, about how important it is to frame and to teach other people how to frame. So just great message. Thank you.
Thank you.
What was your thing?
I'm feeling really good today. I was going to ask Kevin, where can we get a copy of your book?
So today I brought 20 copies with me, but I also keep copies in my trunk. It's also available on the publisher's website. My website is cpspeaks.com. You can go to that website. You have access to the publisher's website, amazon.com, and barnesandnoble.com. You're welcome. And just another quick thing, since we're on the book topic, this year I made a decision, and this is just something about attitude and the secret of success. This year I made a decision to go after corporate sales for my book. Initially, I'm just onesie twosie, you know, here and there. Whoever sees it, they buy it. But this year, I made a decision to go after corporate sales. So far, I sold to 2 companies, and I'm pretty happy about that. I sold to the Delaware 87ers, which is a G League team for the 76ers, the NBA team, and I also sold to Western Pest Control. And to me, I feel like those are huge wins because I made it up in my mind to go after certain things. And I'm like, you know what? It's gonna happen. And I told myself it's gonna happen. I didn't give myself a date, I just said it's gonna happen. And I closed those on January 31st. Prepare yourself. I'm telling you, prepare yourself. It's gonna make a difference for you.
Yeah, first of all, let me say good morning to everyone this morning. Thank you for the invite. I really appreciated what you said. I did a lot of time in the penitentiary, willfully, you know. I'm a life skills instructor and a counselor, and I always had the past in front of me. You know, I could never seem to stop doing things because the past was still in front of me. Then I found out if I put the past behind me, I can see you now.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things that hindered my success. The past. You'll never make it. You got a record. This. Well, I maxed out in 2008. Went to Lincoln University. I got my degree.
Congratulations.
Was in South Africa last year.
Nice.
Still pushing forward into the counseling field. It's been difficult, you know, and running into speed bumps here and there with the family. So I am glad that I came here today, just to hear that. Sometimes a word is all we need for that push. I encourage myself, but so many arrows at times. I'm also the outreach director at our church.
Okay.
You know, the same thing happened to me while I was away. Make a long story short, I'm gonna make it.
Yes, you are. I believe it.
You know.
You just said it. I believe it.
I'm gonna make it, you know. And I thank God just for this place today, you know, and I mean that from the heart. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm on my way to writing a book also. It's called On the Move Again.
Okay.
You
Look
know,
forward to reading it. I do.
Well, again, thank you for your presentation. That was very encouraging.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And just 1 second, what you mentioned, by not being able to see past the past that's in front of you, one of the things that I learned how to do is create a mental sledgehammer. You know, and you know how a sledgehammer destroys things, right? You can create a mental sledgehammer for yourself and destroy the crap that's going on in your head. Get rid of it. Make it turn to dust. Once you make it turn to dust, just sweep it out the way. It's just that simple. But it takes a lot of work to do. And the one thing that I have to tell you guys is you cannot give up on yourself. And that's a line that I use on a regular basis. It's actually my tagline. You cannot give up on yourself. Last year, I ran through a lot of different situations in my life. My wife and I separated. My uncle passed away. My son got caught up in the drug situation. You know, just a whole bunch of different things. I started having asthma attacks again. And that was during the process when I was writing my second book. And at that particular time, I was like, you know what? I have too many things going on for myself right now to allow these particular things to slow me down. So I kept my foot on that gas pedal. I just pressed it. I was out. Finished the first draft of my second book in September. Cannot give up on yourself.
So my question might be a little bit different of a type of question, but how can, like, as a Black woman, how can we be supportive of our Black men, you know, while they go through this phase? You said you had a fiance, you were married, and you just mentioned being separated, but how can Black women be supportive of our Black men in this? What would you say our role could be, or, you know, to keep them motivated, get them even motivated?
Well, one of the things I think that needs to happen is you need to know what the vision is for him. And if you know what that vision is, you can believe in it and you can encourage him in that particular area. Just being there, you know, because there are a lot of times where people get tired of being around individuals who may not have the drive, because it does happen. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, man, I don't feel like it. You know, just being real. I just don't feel like it. Since Christmas last year, my team has suffered from the flu like crazy, and people were calling out left and right, and I was just like, man, I don't feel like it. And my wife was like, you got another team of people who were looking for your guidance. So she kind of encouraged me to continue to press forward and not allow those particular call-outs, not allow the flus, you know, those particular situations and those little adversities that may have come up in the workplace to slow me down, because my team looks to me as the encourager and just the person that's going to help them get through their day, the person who's going to help them, you know, catapult their careers. So I think as long as women understand the vision of the men, it will help them, encourage them, and help them press forward and you know, the support piece of it.
I wanted to add, one of the things that I realized, I'm also a convicted felon, or, you know, have a felony on my record. Criminal history about 20 years long. I'm 42 in October. And 2013, I was sitting, they offered me 7.5 to 15. You know, I'm at the House of Corrections, I'm on the phone, I told my public defender, I said, listen, tell them they can wipe that on their chest. I'm not sitting here for 7.5 to 15 years. You know, but I had to think, if I didn't want to sit there 7.5 to 15 years, what is it that I could do, you know, to help myself in my situation? Just like you, Calvin, I had both parents in my house who gave me good direction, set good examples of working hard, going to school, but I decided to do what I wanted to do. Well, in 2013, I said, God, if you let me out this time, I know before when you let me out, I'll say, I'm not coming back, and I'm here less than 3 months later. I said, but this time I mean it. And I set a plan, I literally said it. I said, I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna go to community college, I said this on my bunk. I said, I'm gonna graduate with honors, and I'm gonna help. I'm gonna help, because I see the troubles that the prison, you know, actually it causes more damage than it does good. I mean, we wanna, you know, keep it, you know, real. It's not corrective as it's supposed to be. I started off culinary arts. Since I was 9 years old, I've been cooking and baking. Went to Johnson Wells University in 2000, studied classical French pastries, but I still wasn't satisfied. And here I am, Phi Theta Kappa inductee. I graduated community college with honors. I'm in LaSalle. I'm a mentor now with Frontline Dads. And God found a way. Once I became accountable of my actions and I stopped blaming everything or anybody else, I started to see more things happen for me. So before anybody can take one step forward, you have to be accountable. You know, and sometimes being accountable means owning up to things that we're not too proud of. But once you do that, you step into adulthood. Being an adult is about accountability. And if you're honest with yourself, there's no barriers, there's no felony, there's no labels that can possibly stop you. So I just want everybody in here to know that it's hard. Let's not make no mistake. It wasn't easy for me, and it's still not easy. But because I'm an accountable adult, I know that the only way that I'm going to get to the dreams that I have is if I do it myself, and don't wait and don't rely on nobody. Don't look for a handout. You know, you can only expect for people to help you as much as you help yourself.
Thanks, Brent. All right. I know we're on a timetable here, so I don't want to take up too much time, but do you guys have any more questions? Or if so, you can talk to me at a later time today. I'll be here all day. All right.
Okay, let's give Calvin a
Thank you.
Awesome job. And inclusive in your packet is the Attitude Secret to Success material. So you can read them at your leisure. I'm sure he walked through some of the things that were in there, but there might be some things that he didn't touch on that would be beneficial for you as well. So did you get a lot out of that? Was that good? Okay, because you guys seem very engaged, which was nice. So Calvin, thank you so much. We appreciate it. So our next presenter